In lane number 1, it'll be Dave Villwock and Pico's American Dream, who finished second the last race and very strong. In lane 2, Steve David in a repaired T-Plus engine treatment, both boat and driver back and ready to go. In lane 3, it'll be Mark Evans in the Miss Wellness Plan. He's back in the seat of his old boat. Outside, it'll be the Mill Bay Casino, driven by Mitch Evans.
As they come down there, you see Mitch Evans. He is the boat on the outside of the field, the one they have to look to as the pace boat. Watch the battle. There's the green flag, and right off the bat, it looks like T-Plus is going to hold Pico American Dream very tight on the first turn. Pico, the blue boat, the yellow and black boat is T-Plus. That's the boat that 2 weeks ago went over in Madison, Indiana. They got it repaired, and here he is out in the lead in the first heat.
It's a 2-mile course as he comes down the chute on lap number 1. It is the T-Plus with that skid fin on the left assisting in the turns. Usually a wall of water will be coming up off that left side, signifying that the unlimited hydro is in a turn. But in this case, look out, the T-Plus getting a little loose, and that skid fin, Dick, is not grabbing like it should.
What they're doing is hitting air. In other words, wind is coming down the front straightaway, and on the back straightaway as they enter into what would be the third corner, they've got a lot of rollers happening out there, so they've got to be very careful all the way around. The T-Plus Zodiac Sports Watch lap speed at 143 miles per hour. Now, as they come into the turn, it looks like Villwock hit into that rooster tail off of the T-Plus. He may have missed a buoy. We'll have to check with the officials to see if that's what happened, but it appeared that Villwock cut inside of a buoy and missed it. That would be a 1-lap penalty. Meanwhile, the T-Plus is in clear water out front.
And we're hearing from the helicopter, Mike Noonan, the chief referee, is assessing a 1-lap penalty to Dave Villwock of Pico's American Dream because he did miss the buoy and did not go back and pick it up.
That's right. We want to explain. If he had turned around on the infield and gone back out and picked up the buoy, he would not have been penalized a lap. But in this particular case, maybe he wasn't even aware of what happened out there, but he was in that spray, and it's pretty hard to see. But that boat, the blue one on your screen, has been penalized 1 lap. So T-Plus is out in front and way out in front of the second-place boat.
The second-place boat now becomes the 4th-place boat, Dick, because of that 1-lap penalty. So it's going to be the T-Plus first. Here's the Wellness Plan. Mark Evans currently in 2nd place. Our 3rd-place boat is Mitch Evans in the Mill Bay Casino, and the Pico American Dream is down in 4th.
Still, the ride goes to Stephen David out of Pompano Beach, Florida, who's having a good, solid ride in that boat that they had to repair after the Madison Regatta because of his flip. There's the Wellness Plan. Mark Evans, who subbed twice for Chip Hanauer in the Miss Budweiser, now back into the Wellness Plan. The checkered flag is out. 1st place to the T-Plus, 2nd place to the Wellness Plan, and Mitch Evans, Mark's brother, is now taking it in 3rd in Mill Bay Casino.
And the Fruit of the Loom shows that 4th place is the Pico's American Dream, and that's the way they stand through Heat 1A.
Steve David heading back into the dock. He's going to have to get a little bit of a pull in there, a little tow, if you will. He's very happy, though. He took 1st place in that race. Dave Villwock, just the opposite. Not happy at all. Looks like he wants to talk to some officials and find out what happened. Let's go down to the winning dock.
Steve, that's a better start than last week.
Yeah, I got starting and finishing, not blowing over. That's a victory, huh?
No ill effects, apparently. The boat looked good.
No, the T-Plus engine treatment crew did an outstanding job. I think the weak link or the question today was if I was going to have all my confidence back, and I've just about got it. And come the final, when we win that, I'll have all of it back.
Further down the pits, Jim Hendrick has caught up with Dave Villwock. Dave not very happy when he got out of his boat. Let's go to Jim.
Competition fierce, and you get a call against you.
Yeah, well, I had to run inside the course to keep from getting tipped over by T-Plus. He tipped us over once in Detroit a couple of years ago, and he just about tipped us over in Kansas with the same deal, and now he goes in the entry and tries to get me again, and this time I opted to go to the inside of the course and had to take the lap penalty in order to keep from getting the boat upside down. It's sad that they have to race that way, but that's the way it goes.
Well, the lines in the sand are already being drawn, or is that in the water? At any rate, the boats for the next heat are already getting in the water, getting set to race. We'll be back with all of that action as ESPN Speed World continues. This is Hydrofest from Louisville Lake near Dallas, and as we get ready for Heat 1B, Chip Hanauer, as we mentioned earlier, back at the wheel of the Miss Budweiser. Earlier, Steve Montgomery talked to 2 drivers who have also driven for the Budweiser team in the past 2 years, Mark Evans and Mike Hansen.
The first time you left the dock in Bernie's boat,
Did that really impress you, or was it all business, just thinking about what you were doing?
Well, I was serious when I got in the boat, but when I left the dock, I was thinking to myself, all right, here we go. But by the time I got to the first buoy, I got myself collected again and did what I had to do and got the job done.
It was an honor. I mean, it really was. You know, Bernie Little and the Budweiser team has helped the Madison organization out numerous times over the last 30 years, and there was no way I could tell him no out of what he's done for us, and as well as Ego. To be able to sit in that Budweiser is an honor. And Bernie and Ron Brown, the whole crew, do a tremendous job at trying to make a new driver feel comfortable and part of the race team.
Like Mike said, it is an honor. The crew does make you feel real good, real comfortable about everything, and they don't push you to go over your head.
And Mark's a good learner. I mean, last year I got in the Budweiser. Second race, I tore it up a little bit. Mark, man, he's not patient at all. He has to do it in the first race.
Mike Hansen not in action here today, but they'll rejoin us on the West Coast. Meanwhile, it's Mark Evans back in the seat of the wellness plan. Back in action, as we said, Chip Hanauer. He's got lane number 1 in Miss Budweiser. His nemesis, lane number 2, big competition from Mark Tate and the Smokin' Joes. On lane 3, it'll be Ken Muscatel and Miss Louisville, while on the outside, the pace boat will be Jerry Hopp in the U7 Miss Casey.
The boats have taken their warm-up on the course. They're coming down. The green flag is out, so here's the start. And right off the bat, we've got the two big guns locking in on each other. Miss Budweiser, the red boat, leading the yellow and purple Smokin' Joes. Mark Tate trying to feel out the Miss Budweiser now with Chip Hanauer's return. Look at him come up alongside. This is testing it to the max. Both drivers trying to find out what the other driver has and the other boat has for power. My goodness gracious, if you didn't have a change in color, it would look just like one hydroplane. Side by side, deck to deck, around the turns they come. So far, the water is holding for them.
Boy, the Budweiser really bounced through that slop in the apex of corners number 3 and 4, coming to complete lap number 1, has about a 4-boat advantage over the Smokin' Joes, who now is coming fast on the outside.
Miss Budweiser, whoa, gets a little bit loose going down. Tail walks just a hair, gets a little wave to the crowd with the sponsons. Chip Hanauer, boy, you'd never know this guy had been out of the seat for 3 weeks, but he has. He missed 2 races, and then they had an off week while they traveled to Texas. But look at him now. He's back into the grind, just like climbing back on a bike.
And the boat that was hurt in Evansville is back in action. That's the T3 he's driving. That's his favorite of the 2 Budweiser hulls. As he goes now into corner number 3 once again, a lot of sloppy water in there. Look at him digging that right sponson. Whoa! He takes a big bounce right there. And boy, I'll tell you what, hang on, Chip Hanauer.
All right, and watch very closely now because it is Smokin' Joes on the outside. These 2 boats have been somewhat even-steven as they've gone around the course. Smokin' Joes tailing just a little bit, but it looks like he's coming up on the outside. Zodiac lap speed 144 for the Smokin' Joes, closing down the Miss Budweiser. Smokin' Joes pulls off the pass and takes the lead. Miss Budweiser now in 2nd place.
Oh, that bounce down there in corner number 4 might have hurt something. And I'll tell you what, Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate, a smart driver from Wayne, Michigan, has now taken the lead.
And a reminder to everybody watching, these boats will cover the length of a football field in 1 second. That's it. Now remember, they have to be fighting not only air but water. They've got to be more pilot than they are driver. These are airplane wings that aren't supposed to fly. Sure, tell Steve David that after Madison, Indiana, right? Here's the checkered flag out. Smokin' Joes, a high five from owner Steve Woomer. Mark Tate takes the win in the Smokin' Joes.
And in doing so, Dick, Smokin' Joe sets a competition course record for a lap at 149.7 as we look at the final order finish of Heat 1B. Mark Tate coming in with the victorious Smokin' Joes, and this team is looking for their 3rd.
Mark, you drove around him. That's great driving and a good, strong boat.
Yeah, the Camo Power Smokin' Joe boat just handled the rough water really well, and I think that was an advantage where Chip there in the 2nd lap got caught up in some of the slop that I was in the 1st lap, and I got to take advantage of the race course at that point and win the heat.
Steve, it kind of tightened up the old National High Point race.
Yeah, and that was our plan here. We hope to come out of here ahead of them in the National High Points.
Mark said the rough water in corner number 4 cost you the victory.
Yeah, hit a big hole, and he didn't, and he got a good run on me, and that was that.
Next question, how's the ribs?
They're holding up, no problem. Just, you know, some bad luck. Water hit us and not him, so maybe next time it'll go the other way.
Boat and driver both mended, and mending is the subject on the Eagle Snacks Performance Corner later in the show. The second stanza coming up on Speed World. Back on the water now as we ready for Heat 2A. Let's take a look at the lineup. The boats participating in Heat 2A will be the Miss Louisville in lane number 1, Wellness Plan in lane 2, Miss Budweiser in lane 3, and Stephen David in T+ on the outside in lane 4. Wellness Plan already has a problem. Mark Evans very disappointed. He's out of it. Meanwhile, the racing on the circuit shows Miss Budweiser battling the inside Miss Louisville, passes up Miss Louisville, and it is Chip Hanauer in the lead.
Chip Hanauer, a man who's been inducted in the Sports Hall of Fame, Motorsports Hall of Fame. He won the Gold Cup this year, a record 10th time, most of any driver in competition history of the Unlimiteds, and he is currently 3rd in driver high points behind Mark Tate and also Dave Villwock, because he missed 2 races so far this year.
Well, you'd never know he missed those races by the way he's driving that boat out there now. The Red Rocket is living up to its name. As you can see on the outside, still battling for second place, T+ is on the outside of Miss Louisville. Stephen David in the T+, and the Zodiac lap speed 143 miles per hour on this boat, the Miss Budweiser. Meanwhile, the T+ showing in at 137 miles per hour. So I think Steve David says, why rip up the boat? We've already got a good finish on the day. Let's take it easy. Let Budweiser take the points on this one. We'll finish in second place and finish in good shape. They're all looking to the final later on today.
Well, right now, after the first heat win, the T+ has settled out for second. He may be suffering some bruises and battering after that blowover at Madison, Indiana a couple of weeks ago. As we look at our leader on the final lap here in the second round of elimination play.
I think Steve David was fast to point out, too, that everybody wondered about what his confidence would be like after that flip up in Madison, Indiana. But Steve comes right back in. He's been around boat racing for a long time, as you saw in that profile we did for him. He's been driving since I've known him at the age of 16. So he's been around it for a long time. He knows about boats. He has a real feel for them, too. A lot of guys don't wear them like a glove. He does. First place to the Miss Budweiser, second to T+, and third to this boat, the Miss Louisville.
That's the way they finished, as the Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows, did not finish. DNF for the Miss Wellness Plan, and they get no points. They must finish, and that boat will have to be towed back as we look at Mark Evans, hoping to race later on here today.
Meanwhile, Steve David in the T+ scored a first place in Heat 1A and a second in 2A, is now tied for points on the day with 2A winner Chip Hanauer. And that's exactly where he wants to be, right up in the front of the pack. Meanwhile, Chip Hanauer, let's see how he's doing. Steve?
Chip, everybody's flying a little bit. Is it rough?
Everybody's what?
Everybody's flying a little bit. Is it rough?
Yeah, it's rougher than the first heat for sure.
Can you race if it gets any worse?
Oh yeah, we can always race. Well, not always race, but yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Chip Hanauer looking to be okay. Dave Villwock, meanwhile, and the Pico American team ready to make up some ground on this field. We'll see Heat 2B in a moment.